very lightweight. You see the very inexpensive thin Mylar. I know I have one here. One here. Little emergency blankets that take no space at all. These are equally effective, but they're just not durable for reuse. You can take the time to fold them up, but at a couple bucks each is really not worth the trouble most of the time. The other thing, those are reflective on both sides. We'll discuss advantages and disadvantages of that after a while. Okay? But this is very, even has the grommet holes in, so you can stretch this out and strap it down much stronger than the standard commercial emergency blanket. Okay. Gear. Let's talk about being prepared. And again, when I handed this list out, said all these black marks are pieces of the gear that we have that I keep in emergency kits. We are in earthquake territory, right?
Yes, sir.
How many of you have an earthquake kit in your home ready to go? Okay. How many of you have an earthquake kit in your car for if you're out someplace and can't get back to home? Oh, we're down to 2.
But I have a gun.
Have a gun in your car?
Everybody else, absolutely.
There you go. How many of you, when you're out and about, have emergency gear on you when you're not in your car?
We're talking about like first aid kit.
Okay, we have a first aid kit, which is good. I hear a knife.
Tool pouches, I have a first aid small kit.
Small first aid kit and tool pouches. Okay, start thinking about that. The second page on this packet I handed out is a car survival kit that I have. I'll give it a quick cut. I'll give it a quick plug. You can cut this out if you wish in the future. A couple years ago, I think it was 2, maybe 3 years ago, you'll remember there was a gentleman, I think he was a computer specialist up in Northern California. He and his wife and small child were out. They got lost on a snowy road.
It was Oregon?
It was Oregon. It was Oregon. They got lost in the snowy road. He ended up getting out, going to get help. And once the wife and child were found, he was found a day or 2 later, frozen, only like a mile or so from where he'd started. About 2 weeks after that, my wife had rented a emergency preparation survival video from right off of Netflix for Hood's Woods. She watched that, and as soon as she saw that, she said, you know, if those guys had seen this video before, they would still be alive today if they'd just taken these steps. And at that point, that was late in the year, we made all of our family members emergency kits for the car so they would never have to die because they didn't have the gear they needed. Okay? This is a standard car emergency kit. The second page you have here has the contents that's on that. A lot of weird first aid stuff in there because I bought commercial first aid kits and just shoved in there. The last page you see listed here says RWB. That's my Road Warrior bag. Many of you have seen me carrying this around. My man purse. This is my daily all-purpose survival kit, and that's why you see all that stuff listed on that sheet. All that equipment is in here, ready to go anytime. And let's talk about having your gear. Having gear is one thing. Having it accessible or available when you need it is a whole nother thing. All right? Okay, let's start with the home kit. You can all gather around if you want. This is the kit. I just pulled this out of my apartment, brought it along. What kind of stuff? Everybody has their own idea of what should be in your emergency kit. There are so many forums online about it, and they just argue about you have the wrong things in there, you need to have this, you need to have that. You need to make some conscious decisions, what you're worried about, who you're worried about. The FEMA has some really great information online for contact information. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not one of these survivalist types that plans on living past the end of the world. When all the women are blown up, I don't think there's any need for me to be here anymore. What's right on top?
Radio.
A crank up radio and light. No batteries needed. Cranks up. You need communication. I want to know what's going on and have a way if batteries are bad. Next up, I have gloves. Work gloves. Something to transport water in. Okay? one of, I think, the most underrated emergency supplies in the world. Baggies that reseal. Use the brand name, they're Ziploc. Okay? You can transport water, transport supplies, anything you want in there. A couple times today I mentioned I was having trouble seeing, right? My emergency kits all have a pair of glasses in, so I can see. You'd be surprised how many people forget to put these in. People that need reading glasses don't put these in their emergency kits. You need to have them in there. This is just a little case with has some chapstick, hand warmer, stuff like that, tissues, large trash bags, several MREs in here, first aid supplies, everything else in here, okay? Deodorant, all kinds of stuff. So it's a nice all-around kit, keeping the home. Let's transition quickly to another kit. Just give you an idea. Make them whatever bags you have available, whatever gear you feel you would want to have. I look for shelter, I look for water, I look for food. Beyond that, you have some personal protection. I won't bother pulling everything out of here, but you can see this is just nice and easy. It fits in, this is what I keep in the trunk of the cars. It's very compact. One of the other things you didn't see on there, I always think you should have an easy flashlight, multiple lights. We all have flashlights from our testing, including the headlights. The headlights are really great to use when you're out needing. I keep paper, pen and paper. Typically if you're in the car, you want to stay with the car. That provides your shelter instantly. If there's some reason you have to leave for whatever reason, we've all had training in our testing on map making, right? Take your pencil and paper, map your route away. When you first start out from the vehicle, you're going to look around, okay, yeah, I recognize that tree, I recognize that tree. I guarantee you, most of us, after 15 minutes in the woods, every tree is going to look alike to you. So you need to be mapping very carefully. You can use paper and put markers out. You can use stones and twigs and put markers along the way. Do some mapping so you can find your way back. Do not trust your memory in a stressful situation. Okay. I mentioned this bag I carry with me. You would call that an everyday carry bag. The thing with an everyday carry bag, you need to have reason to carry it every day. A BlackBerry pocket, phone pocket, wallet goes in the front, notepad goes in the front, all kinds of gear in there ready to go. For self-protection, I keep a pouch on the back that keeps a defender at hand, ready to pull out very quickly and easily. I am very fond of carabiners. This particular one I have notched the edges for, which gives us good gripping ability to snag, defend, protect with. Okay, so very fond of carabiners. Never had any trouble carrying this anywhere. I do keep 550 cord. I do keep, I have in the one end 550 cord and bandana. So just yesterday I was out with my wife. She was getting very hot, wet down the bandana. You've all seen this on the test, how we use it to cool ourselves down, make it wet. Very effective. This is a mini shelter and mini survival tool. Okay? And if you're out someplace with water, you're going to need some way to clean the water, whether you have iodine tablets or whatever. This won't take care of the bacteria and germs, but it will filter the junk out of the water before you purify it. Okay? So you can purify water and still have junk in it that you're eating, leaves and such. I like to filter it through a bandana before that. One last kit I want to show you. That's this little pocket one here. You can see I pulled two things out of it already. I like these little pouches. They're called admin pouches. Come in a variety of brands. Very small, very easy. I like these in a desk or on you. These pouches are made, they're made to fit the side pockets of your BDUs. You also have hooks on, so you mount them onto any MOLLE gear or onto your belt. This particular one, just some of the stuff I carry in there. A little mini light, a whistle. Let's talk about whistles real quick. Did that quiet for the microphone. If you're out someplace and need to be found, it's not going to take too long for you to get hoarse and tired and waste a lot of energy yelling. It's very easy to blow a whistle and attract attention, and that sound will cut through a lot of stuff. I keep a little pen in here, a splinter puller, little tweezers, and a little pry bar for whatever. Emergency blanket already pulled out, hand warmer, little disposable hand warmer, the light stick. I have a Swiss Army knife in here, ready to pull out, and a couple other tools, a little nibbler tool and a little multi-purpose wrench tool. All this stuff fits very easily, very tiny packet, very easy to keep with me anytime. Like I said, I try to keep one of these on my desk. I'm out traveling someplace, it goes on there. I was traveling recently on vacation. I took a lot of these items. You can see I have hooks on them. The light, the whistle, the pen, the splinter puller, the pocket knife, and stuck them on a carabiner, stuck them on my back belt loop, dropped those down inside my back pocket so they weren't rattling around, carried that everywhere with me when I was traveling. Actually used this carabiner here, which is a combination knife and carabiner. So I had the tools with me I needed, and it was shocking how many times on a one-week vacation I actually went for something that was on there between the pen, the light, and the knife. Traveled through Arizona and all around New Mexico and back across Texas.
Bike? On bike?
No. But the point is, figure out what kind of gear you want to have with you. Find a way to carry it that you're going to carry it. Having the best gear in the world isn't going to do you any good if it's sitting back at home. You have to have it with you. Carabiner stuck in your pocket does well. This does very well. Keep something in your trunk. That's where those bags go. Keep something in your house.
Sure. Wife and kids went to San Francisco over the just on Saturday for a museum exhibit. And I shoved a little flashlight in her purse and I said, just in case you need this. Sure enough, on the way back into Burbank, when they transitioned the stairs onto the plane, they shut off power and they hook up to the plane from the stairs. Well, they're having difficulties, so the whole entire cabin blacked out. She reached in her purse, pulled her flashlight out, lit up everything, and even the stewardesses were like, oh my God, how come you have a flashlight? And they're like, the lights are gonna go on right now. They went on, and then they went back off for like 5 minutes, and they were able to get all their luggage out and walk out the plane without any problems while everybody else was still stuck on there.
There you go. So very simple to carry something like that. One last gear carry I want to mention. We all wore our tactical gear today. What did I hear those called? Quick Go Kits. There's an acronym for them, something like QUIRK or something. The idea is, if an emergency strikes, yeah, it's nice to have a bag full of gear, but it's nice to be able to get up and go and have your gear on you. These tac vests have pockets on them. They're not just to carry your gun and your knife. Put your emergency gear in your pockets, your emergency blankets, your water filtration, something to carry your water on. I always make sure I have Camelback on mine. There's no such thing as one without a Camelback for me. A lighter, matches, something to start fire with, compass, phone, communication. Use the pockets that's on there, and then when an emergency strikes, all you have to do is grab your vest, throw it on your shoulders, and run, and you're set, ready to go. If you can grab something else along the way, you're even better. So use your tac vest as part of your emergency gear. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff, you can really make good use of it. Okay. Larry Sensei, what did you learn today that you liked?
Well, Master Lewis, this is congruous with the fact that we identify Anjin Banfa as a way of thinking. And the way of thinking transcends just the martial arts, technique, everything else. I mean, if you can't survive, all this is wasted. So, and the other is, if you survive, you can help others survive.
Exactly. Thank you. Megan Sensei, good to have you with us. What did you learn today that you liked?
I liked the mention of the whistle. I need to get a whistle.
Did you whistle?
Yeah.
If the class gave you one tip today that would help you survive in a bad situation, it's as simple as a whistle, then it was worthwhile. Right? Whistles. We underestimate the whistles. Okay. We were just hearing a story that when the Sensei twins were younger and they were traveling, they would be given whistles when they were off at some park to blow their whistle if they got lost or concerned. That would attract attention very quickly, make it much easier to find the little rugrats when they were running around, instead of being with their parents where they were supposed to.
Little leashes.
Little leashes? Paracord. Paracord. Paracord is effective for leashes. Art Sensei?
Sir, the 10 setting up was really, really good. All the explanations you give out, all the survival tips, really, really good.
Okay. So use of the tent of the ponchos and tents as tents.
Once again, this is
Bernie?
why I'm really impressed with Anjing Bampa art. It teaches you survival in any circumstance, and a lot of times we take for granted that we might be stuck in a situation where we might need to know how to make shelter, how to build things, how to put things together. A lot of people say, "Oh, what are you training for, war?" And I said, "No, these are things that I'd rather know and not need them than to need them and not know them." And that's what Anjing Bampa teaches us. And I especially liked how you could store things in your web gear. Like I managed to store my beer in my web gear, and that was a great lesson learned.
Yeah, the grenade pouch is about the right size for a 12 ounce, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. Simon, what did you learn today other than a net could support you?
Amazing, no, amazing that 550 cord could hold my weight. I'll say this on camera, and I'm not lying. I weigh 380 pounds. And that is just a perfect example of what that little cord could hold. And the survival. I told my story and give you an example of the way of thinking, the way Anjing Bampa has made me think. It changes everything, the way you see things. And it's great. It's great, you know, not only for me, but for my family. You know, it's survival for me and for my family. And I can know and I'll be confident to know that I could take care of them.
I've heard a couple comments here about you have to survive to use your other skills. If you don't survive, you can't protect your family at all. So you have to take care of yourself first, just like when those oxygen masks drop, right? Matthias.
I really enjoyed going over all the different details of the tent, you know, different ways you can use the poncho for various different weather climates and environments, and also just the basic fact of us always being prepared for anything that may come our way.
And there's a little bit of a breeze picking up. You mentioned the different climates. I can see how some of the different structures are moving a little differently now we have breezes. So that's a good example to look before you take them down. I'm going to switch over to this side for the camera. Maribel?
Okay. I definitely learned that you always have to be prepared for everything because you're never going to know where you're going to lose it and when. So, yeah, and about the punches, they're awesome too. That you could use them for many different stuff.
They're not just for rain protection.
Nope.
They're not just jackets. What did we learn today?
We learned a lot. You know, I always go camping and stuff, and I use stuff like this all the time, actually. And I really like the way you went over different ways that I didn't think about using stuff like ponchos and stuff like that. So I liked it a lot.
Neat thing about camping is you're often out by yourself without TV or anything else to keep you entertained. You can play with your gear.
Yeah.
And come up with new ideas, new ways to utilize it. Anything new you learned today that you liked?
The versatility of the poncho was definitely pretty cool. One thing I learned that I thought was really good was the strength of the 550 cord and just how versatile and strong that was. Even though it's not very heavy or something cumbersome to carry around, it's really strong.
Okay. Yeah. 550 cord is one of our greatest tools. Sensei, you feel closing in on Miss Maribel's smile?
I'm going to do Maribel's smile in a second here. There's Maribel's smile.
If she'd stop squirming.
I love the fact you taught, and love
you.
the fact that everybody got a chance to see and practice some things that were kind of like before the test, you know, like let's put up the stuff, and you went through and critiqued it. It was awesome. I thought it was just great. And I think that the fact that we learn to survive in any situation, I think is really an awesome thing for us and hopefully other people on the internet.
Thank you, Sensei. And
that's what Simon says.
thank you.
Every 3 years, an ancient ritual takes place here.
He is the creator and sustainer of all the worlds, whether those worlds are known or unknown to mankind.